do you do when you have overgrown property that's difficult to manage? Well, you call in a crew that has four-legged workers who eat on the job.
Lie down. Come by. Lie down. Stay.
The Nashville Chew Crew uses targeted grazing to tackle these areas. There are only a handful of these businesses in the U.S., and this particular one is owned by Nashville native Zach Richardson.
Well, I am the only human representative of the Nashville Chew Crew. Our company uses sheep to clear overgrown properties that are otherwise difficult to manage. You see this fence? We enclose the area in an electric fence. The fence is hot. And bring anywhere between 30 to over 100 sheep. Once the sheep have cleared out everything, we pick up and go to the next site.
The Nashville Chew Crew takes on a variety of projects, everything from residential to commercial properties, and there's a long list of benefits to using their service.
I don't know if we have time for all the benefits, but just to hit a few, in a lot of areas that are tough to manage, whether it's too steep or too rocky or too overgrown, too tough to access, whatever it may be, usually that means it's too expensive for a traditional form of landscape maintenance. So in a lot of cases, I can offer a client a better price. So that's nice. Certainly the environmental side of things is a huge plus. They're very light on the land, they fertilize as they go, they're quiet, there's no emissions, there's no chemicals, versus herbicides or some of these other methods.
Obviously, Zach doesn't do all the work alone. In addition to the 150 sheep he uses, there's another group that plays a major role in the Nashville Chew Crew.
We've got Reba, we've got Dolly, we've got Sturgill, we've got Loretta, and we've got Dwight.
Now, this may sound like a famous country duo, but they're stars of the land, not the stage. They serve as guard dogs that protect the sheep 24 hours a day. The leading role, however, goes to this fella.
Dougie. Dougie is my right-hand man. He's like the business partner of the Chew Crew. He is a border collie. His job is to gather the sheep or move the sheep as I need. If we're on a site like today and say I had a sick sheep or one was limping, I needed to look at it, it'd be a nightmare for me to go try and grab that sheep. Even with all of us here, it would take a lot of effort and it'd be a pain in the butt if it was just humans. So a dog, especially a border collie, is made to be my right-hand man. His job is to get around the sheep and bring them to me.
Daddy. Hi. There.
Dougie is very affectionate, but when it comes to working, he is serious about keeping the sheep in line.
Stay. He's being very good. When the sheep turn on him like that and kind of confront him, it takes a good dog to stare down the sheep and just use his eyes to flip the sheep back around. That's another amazing thing about border collies. They do so well. Just, I don't know, I would give $1 million to know how he looks at a sheep and tells it to go back, to the right or the left.
Dougie and Zach share a long history. After Zach earned his master's degree from the University of Georgia, he started working for a company that did targeted grazing. And guess what his first purchase was?
When I first started working in Atlanta for a similar company, I traded my first paycheck for Dougie.
While working for that Atlanta company, Zach absorbed all the information he could and then moved back to Music City and started the Nashville Chew Crew. But the company looked a little bit different back then.
Part of the reason I use sheep now is because I learned very early on that goats are like little Houdinis. They will get out of anything. It's like trying to fence in water. And for my business, I need an animal that's more content to stay put. So sheep are much easier to contain. They're also much more flock oriented, so you can work them with a border collie, and if they get out, they're all going to stay together. Whereas goats, you have one on top of a car and one on top of that hill.
Obviously, you don't need heavy machinery or even human beings to take care of landscaping. The Nashville Chew Crew can do it all. In fact, this crew is specially suited for Tennessee weather.
These are all hair sheep versus kind of your archetypal wool sheep, big fluffy ones you see in Europe. Those are all sheared for wool, whereas these were developed in more temperate climates so that they shed naturally. Right now they're putting on their winter coat, but in the summer you'll see them scrape off all of last year's coat. As you can imagine, it's much easier on them in our hot, humid Tennessee summers, and then they have enough protection for our relatively mild Tennessee winters.
Weather is not the only thing that makes Music City a good fit for the Nashville Chew Crew. The sheep are accustomed to eating urban plants, and there's plenty here to go around. And when they're done working, they make sure Zach and Dougie know.
So right now they're being quiet and they're all just chewing their cud, but in a couple of days when they have finished this site and they see me walking through the woods, they're all going to start yelling and kind of running around the edge of the fence waiting for me and Dougie to come and load them up on the trailer, because they know exactly how the system works by now. They're pros.
In many ways, the Chew Crew is a win-win situation for the sheep and the clients. The animals are doing what comes naturally, and the customers have difficult landscapes taken care of. And all this is done while bringing a little joy to those walking by.
What really makes me happy is seeing people enjoy what I'm doing, and comment on that and tell me that they appreciate the Chew Crew, or they love the sheep, or they come see them every day. That really means a lot. So that keeps me going.